Wobbly, wobbly land. Wobbly, wobbly land.
It was a very quiet day in Wobbly Land. Small Grey was having a little sleep under a tree until Peacock fell over and woke Small Grey up. Oh dear, Small Grey was a bit grumpy, so he went to find another quiet place to sleep. Just as Small Grey was getting comfortable again and ready to sleep, someone else came to say hello. The poor cat got a bit of a fright. He'd never before heard such a grumpy noise in Wobbly Land, and he ran to hide behind a tree. Small Grey was quite grumpy now. Just then Molly and Layla came by to say hello. But Small Grey was far too grumpy to say hello to Molly and Layla. Instead, Small Grey sat and grumped. He grumped and grumped. He grumped and grumped and grumped until he was as grumpy as a grumper. When Darragh came along, he wondered who or what Molly and Layla were looking at. Molly and Layla told Darragh that it used to be Small Grey. Wobbly Red Man arrived, followed by Num Num and the fairies. "What's that?" wondered Wobbly Red Man. "It looks like a grumper," said Darragh. "But where did it come from?" said Wobbly Red Man. "Small Grey," said Molly. Everybody watched the grumper grumping about and wondered what they should do. "Well, it'll never do to just stand about," said Wobbly Red Man. Darragh and everyone else agreed that they must try to change the grumper back into Small Grey again. But nothing was working. Everything they did just made the grumper even more grumpy. It was a bit difficult to stay cheerful with all that grumping going on. It was even a bit difficult not to join in with the grumper. None of the funny carry-on was making Small Grey come back. "I think we've done our best. Perhaps it's time to leave the grumper to grump about by himself," said Wobbly Red Man. But the grumper thought this was a rotten idea and he made an awful racket. Molly was worried. "Don't worry," said Wobbly Red Man. "Look at this dear little piece of fluff. Shall we look about the flowers and find some more?" So everybody checked the flowers for fluff and tried very hard not to watch the grumper. Boy Blue noticed that it had got very quiet, and for a moment he thought he saw Small Grey.
Mama!
Said Boy Blue, and he went to hug his friend. But the grumper didn't want to hug. Then, just when everyone was least expecting it, something very funny happened. Everyone laughed at the funny bump. It was a bit difficult for the grumper to stay grumpy with all that laughing going on. The grumper tried with all his might not to laugh too. Then the grumper stopped grumping for long enough to try the funny bump again. Oh, funny bumpy trick. The grumper tried to go back to grumping again, but he was far too tired of being grumpy. It was much more fun being bumpy. Everybody had lots of fun being bumpy, and nobody was being grumpy. Not even the grumper. There wasn't a grumper in sight. They were all very glad to have Small Grey back, and he settled down for a nice sleep.